Hi everyone, and welcome to Noodle Journey. I apologize if I sound extra nasally today, but I have some pretty lousy congestion, and what better way to clear my sinuses than by eating spicy noodles? So today we'll be looking at one of the newest varieties from Samyang, their Buldak Quattro Cheese flavor. In the last video, I looked at the plain old Buldak cheese, not Quattro, and so I wanted to immediately follow up with this one as a comparison. When these came out and I couldn't yet get them in my area, I asked a few folks online who had found them, hey, what's the difference between cheese and Quattro cheese? No response, crickets. So it falls to me to review this product on my own and tell you how it compares to the regular Buldak cheese. Here we go. Now, if you didn't watch the last video, you should, of course. In that, I gave the Buldak cheese an 8.5 because it was delicious, but it is not as cheesy as you might think. It has a hint of cheddar flavor and some extra creaminess, but it's not what I would describe as a cheesy product. I'm thinking that with Quattro cheese here, we're going to get something very apparently cheesier in both flavor and texture. This is one of 3 new flavors from Samyang in their Buldak line, and of course I will review the other 2 when I can, along with the ones I have left from the earlier product line. As with all Samyang Buldak products, this is available in a pack for anywhere from $7 to $10. You may be able to find it individually for around $2. I paid $7.49 for a pack of these at my favorite Asian grocery store, and since this is a new product, it might be a little harder to find at the time of this recording. But stick with it, it should get easier to find soon. Sodium is a lot higher here than it was in the regular cheese. It is at 83% of your daily allowance, 1920 milligrams. So plan your meal accordingly. So let's open this up and talk about what makes this Quattro cheese instead of boring old cheese. Inside we've got our always reliable Buldak noodles, and here's hoping they didn't mess with the recipe for this new product because I really do like these noodles. There's also a sauce packet and a powder packet. The sauce packet looks to be a modified version of the spicy hot chicken sauce, which according to the ingredients appears to drop the usual curry seasoning while adding some liquid cheese, skim milk, and other spices. The powder packet is where the Quattro cheeses are hiding, and they are powdered versions of mozzarella, cheddar, Gouda or Gouda, and camembert. This does not contain meat or seafood, only dairy, and so it appears to be vegetarian safe, and the package also says that it is halal, if that is important to you. Let's get cheesin'. And here we are. So I'm going to stir this up because if you saw the last video, there were a lot of lumps of the powdered cheese that got stuck in here, although this looks like it dissolved a lot better. The smell of this is very, very cheese forward. This is what I was expecting the last one to smell like, and so I don't think I'm going to be disappointed here. Before I take a bite, you'll notice the sauce consistency is much thicker. That's for a couple reasons. The instructions make you reserve 6 tablespoons of water instead of the usual 8 tablespoons of water at the end. So it's a little less water, a little more powder. It's contributing to the consistency of this. All right, enough talking. Let me try this. Okay, I'm happy to report that these are the same wonderful, plump, chewy noodles that most other Samyang Buldak products use. They're great, as always, 8 out of 10. Here's where I usually talk about spice, and this is where things get unexpectedly interesting. The spiciness in this is not what I was expecting. Don't get me wrong, it is still very spicy, but it's not as painful as all the other Buldak packs I've had up until now. And since I had a taste of the sauce when I was cooking the noodles, I can tell that there's actually less chili pepper in the sauce to begin with, rather than it just being the cheese toning everything down. It's definitely more tame. I think this is a good thing, really, because this is a slightly more accessible level of spice to train your palate with, rather than, say, diving headfirst into a bowl of hot chicken Buldak as your first Buldak experience. It's good, still a little higher than what I would call medium, but it is a lot more tolerable than I thought it would be, and certainly a lot more tolerable than the other varieties have been. So this is a 6 out of 10 for spice. So let's talk about what this tastes like. A creamy, cheesy, delightful bowl of noodles. By toning down the spice just a little bit, the taste of the cheese really comes through this time, especially in comparison to the plain old cheese Buldak variety. On top of that, it's got some onion and garlic flavor going on, a little smoky bite that I think might be paprika, and the usual sweet and salty vibe that we already know and love from Buldak sauce in general, just minus the curry powder that you normally taste in this. It is missing any kind of dry ingredients like we've seen before. There's no seaweed or sesame seeds in here, so that's a little disappointing. But I don't think they're actually needed among all this creamy sauce. This eats like a meal. Yeah, this might be my new favorite Buldak flavor next to the carbonara. Probably my new go-to, just because it's less painfully spicy than the others. It's great flavor here. This is like an adult bowl of mac and cheese with a spicy kick. This is a 9 out of 10 for me. Samyang's newest flavor is an absolute winner. You might not know it from the packaging or the official descriptions, but this is a very different product than the cheese Buldak was. They both have their merits. If you want a mild cheese finish with super spicy Buldak sauce, go for the cheese Buldak. If you want more creamy cheese and less spice, go for this Quattro Cheese instead. If you can't handle spicy, I've got some other cheesy noodle reviews coming up that might be a good alternative to this, eventually. Now that this review is in the books, what are your thoughts on Samyang Buldak now? Have you tried this or the other new flavors yet? Let me know in the comments. I'm also thinking it might be time to just burn through, no pun intended, the rest of the Buldak products in my pantry in one go pretty soon, rather than spacing them out. So what do you think about that? Review them all in a marathon of videos, or should I spread them out and review other stuff in between like I usually do? I don't want to be known as the spicy noodle guy, but you know, I do have a lot of spicy noodles to review. So please let me know what you'd like to see. And as always, please like and subscribe to continue on this noodle journey with me.